You probably don't truly understand just how much Facebook ads can change the course of your life over just 2 months. And not even your own life, but the lives of everybody around you. And I know this because I am your average guy. I'm not very intelligent. I didn't do well in school or anything like that, but I just took a little bit of time to understand these few lessons that I'm going to share with you guys in this video. And as a result, it helped me take not one, not two, but 3 companies to a multiple 7 figures per year. And as a result, has completely changed the trajectory of my life, where I live, what I eat, and how my lifestyle is. So in this video, I want to show you a full timeline of how I went from zero, basically nothing, to hitting my first $100,000 a month, to then eventually scaling to multiple 7 figures like I have now. I'm just going to show you everything that I did so you can copy along and do the same thing. For starters here, this is me back in November 2020, literally slaving away trying to grow a marketing agency. Like, it doesn't get any more slaving away than what I'm doing here. I'm literally hunched in the corner of my client's facility doing all the editing for them. Now, the reason why I was doing all this manual work is because I didn't have any skills that allowed me to scale a business properly. So as a result, I had to interact with all of my clients personally. I had to manage them all personally. They all knew me personally. In order to get new clients, I had to do things like networking, manual outreach, manual cold email, and all of these kind of things. And as a result, yes, it helped me get my business off the ground. We were able to take this business to about 15, 20, 25K per month, but it was the hardest I had ever worked. I'm talking working 14, 16 hours a day of like actual grunt work. And in addition to that, it wasn't even worth it. Working 14, 15, 16 hours a day, when you averaged out how much I was making per hour on the weekends too, I was making like $15 an hour. And it was just a terrible, terrible, terrible way to live. And it was a reflective of my ability to work hard. But the reason I had such a miserable life running this business is because I didn't understand the lessons that I'm going to share with you guys in this video. Then, as you can see here, I kept grinding away, and eventually I discovered high ticket. And high ticket was kind of the first thing when I could like, okay, my time's a little bit more worth it now. Like, instead of selling, low retainers and things like that, I would sell 5K and all that kind of stuff. And as a result, I was able to grow my business. I got some awards here. I had some more money now, more time freedom, all that kind of stuff. I could begin to travel. Here's me hanging out with the boys, having a good time. Could pretty much do whatever I wanted without, looking at the price tag or anything like that. I was probably profiting about $20,000 per month in this. And I had a good amount of time freedom where I could go and do all these trips and hang out with my friends and, have fun. But now what happened next is where everything began to change. Okay. So if you see here, what I was just sharing with you there was in 2022. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll all the way down to the end of 2023 here. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys about when everything began to change. Okay. So it was right in and around this time. We're looking at the end of 2023, which is when I started to hang out with new people that began to introduce me and properly shared with me the lessons that I'm now going to share with you guys, which is how to crack the code on running Facebook ads to the point where you just have this almost automated machine where you put in $1 and you make back 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as you can see, what happened when I began to discover this. So before this time, $20,000 a month, $25,000 a month was like the best thing. All of a sudden, you can see here the floodgates begin to open. That was my first $40,000 a month, just a few months later, right? So look at this, right? So we're 2023 right now. I want you to pay attention to the date. September, October 2023, hit my first $40,000 a month. Okay. We'll keep scrolling down here, these are $50,000 a month. Okay. Keep scrolling down here, $75,000 a month. Hit my first $75,000 a month just 2 months later. And then there's $84,000 a month. And there we are, $105,000 a month just 2 months later. Okay. And I'm saying this as somebody who spent 4 years stuck at $20,000 a month, feeling trapped inside of my own business with no predictable, easy way to scale it, to then just learning what I'm going to share with you guys and what we're going to dive into here in a second, and going from $20,000 to $100,000 a month in literally 2 months, working less, as you're about to see here. Here we go. Here it starts. Traveling more than I have ever done before in my entire life. Okay. So there is the proof that if you just understand what I'm going to share with you guys in this video, Facebook ads can change your life. now how to actually do it. So the first thing and the most important thing when it comes to achieving this massive scale with Facebook ads is having an offer that's in high demand. People always ask me like, hey, like how do you build the best offer and like all that kind of stuff? Well, just sell things that people actually want to buy, and it becomes like business gets really easy, right? The problem and the reason why so many of you guys struggle with ads or you struggle with your business, whatever the case may be, is because you're selling things that you saw somebody else sell who drives a nice fancy Lamborghini and Rolex or whatever. You're not actually selling things that people want to buy. Yeah, you need to be really good at marketing and sales to make any money. And if you're watching this video, you're probably not. Okay. So no wonder you're broke. No wonder it ain't working for you. So then how do we actually do that? Well, lucky for you guys is that AI exists. So you don't even have to come up with this. You don't even have to think of this on your own. Just going to give you a few prompts on how to find offers that are in very high demand with very low supply. Okay. So there's a couple different ways about going and doing this, right? And the first way that we do this is we choose a market that has very high demand to have problems solved and very low supply, meaning very few other agencies are actually going after that market. If I show you some of the case studies here that we have at my company, right? Like this guy went from 2 to 50K per month, targeting a very niche home service niche. This person went from 20 to 640. They have, again, a very niche offer. Eric here went from 8 to 63K a month in a very niche manner. Yusuke went from 30 to 70K a month, targeting these super niches, right? Like transparently, this is the most common approach that we'll take. We'll take like, what are your already existing current skills? And then let's just enter a market that doesn't have a whole lot of saturation, right? And as you can see, we've been able to do this over and over and over and over and over again, right? I literally have a VA that just comes in here and updates this every single week. Because of how powerful it is when you sell things that people just want to buy. Right now, the second thing that you can do is that you can solve a problem that is in high demand in your market that other service providers create. For example, let's say you're going into real estate and you want to do, you want to help real estate agents, right? Well, the thing is there's a lot of agencies going after real estate agents offering Facebook ads, and as a result, realtors are sick of unqualified leads. They hate paying for ad spend, et cetera, et cetera. So if you can get realtors result without them having to deal with unqualified leads and without them paying for ad spend, those offers are going to do really good. Right. And then if you can't do that, either make your service better or do something until you can do that. Or what I suggest and what I suggest with most people is they just pivot their niche into an industry that has very high demand, but very few people go after that. And all I do is I just go into ChatGPT and I just say, I'm looking for a type of home service professional, real estate professional, anything like that, right? It has extremely high demand for solving the problem that you solve. They can easily solve the problem with the service delivery that you have. There's very few people targeting them. There's lots of them in Canada, US, UK, and Australia, and they have purchasing power and they can easily afford a 10K service, right? And then what's going to happen is you're going to get some answers there, and then you're going to be like, oh, right, like which one of these do I relate with the most? Which ones do I maybe already have a case study in? Which one of these could I easily get a case study in? And then you just choose that industry. And then in regards to your offer, like it doesn't even need to be that crazy, right? Like your offer can just be, hey, I will help you get result in time frame for guarantee, right? You don't need new mechanism. You don't need all this crazy stuff because you're going into a market that's untapped. Okay, so that's the first thing that I will always do. Biggest lever to pull when it comes to the actual Facebook ads. Now, getting into how we actually scale them and why most people don't. I'll tell you why most people don't scale and they fail with Facebook ads. And it was the same reason why I had failed with Facebook ads, like literally almost 10 times before I finally ended up succeeding with them. Okay. Now I'm going to give you this breakdown right here of one of my ad accounts that I'm running here. Okay. And not understanding this is the biggest death. And it's the reason why so many people fail with Facebook ads. It's the reason why so few people actually make $100,000 a month or more with their Facebook ads. Okay. So here's a question for you. How would you like to make an extra 83K in profit? Now you probably don't think this possible. Well, I will tell you it is 100% possible, but only if you understand what it looks like to do this with ice cold traffic. So you have to remember, I did this without leveraging my YouTube audience, without posting content, like literally just targeted complete strangers who had absolutely no idea who I was. So I can give you a full breakdown of what this actually looks like to scale these ad accounts. Now, for many of you, it's going to completely shift your paradigm around how to make a lot of money. So here's our first day of running ads on this campaign. And as you can see here, this was February 12th, 2025. This is a recent campaign. Our cost per website schedule was $720. We spent $1,500 and we didn't book a single qualified call. Right now, for context, before this, I had about a $200 cost per qualified call. If that was you, you would probably have a full-blown panic attack. You'd shut off your ads, you'd fire your media buyer, you'd say ads don't work. But I didn't do that because I wanted to make a lot of money, and I was here to make a lot of money, not a quick buck, okay? Instead of doing that, we kept pushing. And 7 days later, we're looking better, but we're not profitable, and we were down $10,000. Some of you guys would be in shambles if you guys were down $10,000. You guys would have a full-blown panic attack, right? Look at this. We booked 51 calls 7 days later. So 51 calls at $239 each. We'd spent $12K, and we'd only closed one $2K deposit. At this point, we could have looked at this campaign. We could have said, holy shit, we've lost 10K. This is terrible. Ads don't work. And fuck that guy I saw on YouTube that told me to run ads because he said it changed his life and he said it would change mine. He just cost me 10K. I'm going to sue him. Or the other way that you could look at this is, my metrics have improved. We're now on target. We've exited learning phase. We've secured a deposit, so we know we're attracting the right people. And we also have a few deals in the pipeline. Let's keep pushing, boys. And as you could probably guess, we went with option 2 because we're here to make a lot of money. And as a result, 30 days later, we were profitable. If you're in B2B, you probably have a 2 to 3 week long sales cycle. Like, that's just standard average. At minimum, it's a 2 to 3 week long sales cycle on average. If you don't close any deals in the first 7 days, that makes sense because your sales cycle is longer than 7 days. Okay. And we just waited for that to catch up. And now we were closing deals on a regular basis. Our metrics had stabilized, and now they were giving a consistent flow of qualified appointments. We collected $75,000 in new cash and profited $37K. And that was just month 1. Those are the numbers there. 60 days later, this advertising campaign was officially a success. We booked 257 calls at $211 each. We cash collected $136,000, profited $83K. And this is before any rebills, before any referrals, and any additional engagements of upsells or downsells from those clients have kicked in. And the best part is that we didn't change a thing. After we had spent $1,500 and only booked 2 calls and 0 qualified calls, we kept spending and letting Facebook optimize. After we were down 10K after 7 days, we kept spending and let Facebook optimize. We patiently waited for our pixel to optimize. We patiently waited for our 2 to 3 week long sales cycle to catch up. And as a result, we made an extra $136,000 from ice cold traffic on a single funnel. Now, this is what I was saying earlier. 99% of people would have quit just like I would have in my earlier days before I understood this, somewhere in days 1 to 7. And that's why only 1% ever get to experience days 30 to 60. Okay. So now if you want to see what these campaigns actually look like and how they're actually structured, they are wildly, insanely simple. Once I have the offer in place, I literally just go onto Facebook ads. I find top performing ads. I just look for top performing ads that are in my niche or in other niches or anything like that. I take the transcript, I throw it up into ChatGPT, and I say, rewrite this for my offer. Then you come in here, you have a single campaign, you have a single ad set, and you just put all of your ads in that ad set. And literally that's it. Then you just let it run. The funnel, very simple. We come over here, we look at the funnel, right? This is one of the ads. It's just me talking. I saw this ad on the internet. I thought this was a good ad. I was like, oh, let me remake it for my offer. I just talked to my camera. I had my editor just edit it and it works well, right? Well, what's the funnel? Very simple. Agency owners, my headline, my offer, VSL, see if you're eligible for guarantee. Takes you to a type form where you can qualify yourself. If you're not qualified, you get disqualified. If you are qualified, you get sent to my calendar, and then you have a call with my team. It is insanely simple. The reason why people don't succeed with this is because they don't understand the case study that I shared with you in this video. And if I understood this earlier, I probably would have a few extra $1 million in my bank account right now. All right, so now that you have seen how this can actually change your life forever, you're sitting here with 2 options. Option 1 is you can take all of this information, put it in this ear, out that ear, and go about your day doing whatever you were doing, watching TikToks, watching more YouTube videos, whatever that may be. Or option number 2 is where you can take this information and actually go and execute and apply it, where you will be able to create a business that will facilitate all of your lifestyle and financial freedom needs. Now, if option 2 sounds good to you, I want you to click right here because it is a more detailed, advanced training on all of the nitpicky little things that go into how to actually launch and scale using Facebook ads. If you have any other questions about this, just drop a comment below. I'll personally jump in there and help you out. And other than that, I wish you the absolute best with your business, and I'll see you in the next video.